Great. Okay, so what's the next task?
Okay, the third task we're going to do now is which forms admission are required to prove Florida residency. So, since we are in the tuition area, this is probably a good place to start looking for that. Just based on knowing that the tuition's changed for resident to non-resident, I'm just going to see here if there's a place for forms, which this is the student accounting. So this may or may not have the form we're looking for. It may be more for financial aid, but I'm going to check here first since this is, where we are. Okay, that link doesn't seem like it works, so I'm going to try to see if another link works. Yeah, another link works. So the forms link on here doesn't go anywhere. So now we're going to have to see if we can find it somewhere else. So payment services, accounts payable. Yeah, this looks like where we need to go to pay. I'm going to check down here. Admissions is probably where we still need to go back to graduate admissions. Application checklist. I'm thinking because if we're doing the application, we need to prove residency. Residency policies, number 6 on the list here. And we have applications desiring classification as Florida residents for tuition paying purposes must sign and complete the Florida residence section of the Florida residency classification page of the graduate application. Incomplete or unsigned forms will be classified as non-Florida residents. The Office of Graduate Admissions will classify applicants as Florida residents if they have provided documentation that verifies they began living in Florida at least 12 months prior to the first day of their classes. Additional documentation other than what is required may be requested in some cases. All documentation is subject to verification. The student is responsible for checking their residency classification when admitted to the University of South Florida. The residency classification is noted on official acceptance letter. So I'm not seeing. They may submit a request for reclassification. Okay. The residency classification is noted on if the student feels that their initial classification is an error. So let's see if it's up a little higher. Applications desiring classification as a Florida resident for tuition paying purposes must sign and complete the Florida residence section of the Florida residency classification page of the graduate application. So based on that sentence, I read it and I thought that we would have, like there's been links throughout this section, that there would be a link to that page, but I guess I'm going to have to actually go into the application to find the residency form. But we do know now that it's within the application. So let's check the graduate application. So graduate application, our online application. We'll click here. So this is taking me to where I'm actually applying. So we at least know the answer to our question, that it's the Florida residency classification page of the graduate application. So it's within the application. Since I'm not applying at the moment, I can't get to that page. But we know that it's a Florida residency classification page within the application.
Very good. So one more task.
The fourth task is you have heard good things about the master's degree program in instructional technology that is offered by the College of Education. How many graduate credits are required for this degree? So we are looking for the master's degree in instructional technology in the College of Education. So how many credits? Okay, so we are in the graduate school program. So we want to look at graduate degree programs. And there's a search bar here, but typically I would think since we're wanting to look at the College of Education within the graduate school, that's where I think what I want to look for first. But okay, so let's look in the current students or future students. Let's try this graduates programs and see what's in here. Same page. So we will look by college here. by education. In my experience, when I've worked on with other college websites, there's been, within the graduate programs, there's been a list of the schools instead of, the way that this is set up, a little different than I've ever seen before. So we have, within the education program, we are looking for instructional technology. So it looks like these are in alphabetical order. So I'm going to go down to I and see if that's where we will find it. Instructional technology. So we have a Doctor of Philosophy and Education Specialist, Master of Education, and then, so we only have 2 instructional technology, and in my task it says master's degree in instructional technology that is offered by. So Master's of Education is the one we're going to look for, Education Specialist. So we're going to click there. And total program hours is blank right here. So the information that we're looking for and where we think it would be or where it should be is not there. I guess we can go through and add up all these degree requirements, but I know that also, in my experience, although it says, you have a section and there's a list of tons of classes, you don't necessarily have to take every single one of them. You have to choose 3 or 4. Here's USF degree requirements. I'm going to open up a new tab and see. I don't want to leave this page, but I want to see if maybe what we're looking for is on there. But this seems like a general degree requirements, not necessarily the one we're looking for. So as far as I can tell, there's 2 spots on here that say total minimum program hours required, and then total minimum program hours required, and they're completely blank.
Okay, well, let's back up for a second here. You're in the graduate school. I wonder if they will let you
Maybe
get to the College of Education.
Well, it's closed, so...
Although this is interdisciplinary.
Oh, that's okay. So that's the problem. Well, that's why. Well, I clicked on the wrong one. But there's education specialist and there's Doctor of Philosophy, but there's no Master of Education within instructional technology.
On this page.
So would it be, I guess, if it's within the education... Let's see if I can look through and maybe go, because we're in the College of Education.
No, you're actually in the graduate school still.
Right here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I'm in the College of Education. I'm in the Graduate School College of Education. And in my task, it says Master's degree in Instructional Technology that is offered by the College of Education. So, there's no way to, reorganize these at all. I'll just scroll through the list and see if we can. There's adult education. Let's see. The way that this is set up, it leads me to think that it's going to be in alphabetical order, so I need to look in instructional technology. And there's instructional technology, and there's doctorate and education specialist. I guess we can take a look at education specialist and see what kind of degree this would be. It says 36 hours. It doesn't say that it's a master's. I mean, I'm assuming it's a master's program because it's in the graduate school. And on here it says an MED, and right here we have the EDS. So this is not what we're looking for. I'm going to keep looking. Maybe it might be under technology and then it'll say instructional after the fact.
I don't know.
Let's see, and there's no technology. And we have specified it is in the College of Education. So let's look and see if we may need to look somewhere else for this. Because there's other areas, academics. So we went into future students, graduate programs, maybe current students. We'll see what's down here. Graduate success, graduate catalog, academics, graduate degree program. So I'll go in here and see if it might be in here, just because it might be another way about it, but this looks to be the same way. Let's try program and concentrations list and see if it's in there instead of going by the college. This is kind of freaking out a little. Okay, so we'll go back to the I's in instructional technology, and maybe it'll say master's in education here instead of going to the College of Education. I'm finding it that way. It's taking a minute to scroll. It loads a little bit slow when we're going down here. So, still in alphabetical order and looking for instructional technology, and there is no instructional technology. So we've looked through the College of Education, and then we've looked through the specialties. Let me see, I'll try the technology down here again and see if it might be there. Nope, not there either. Okay. So let's go back, and I think there's one other option and a way to search for the program that you're looking for, so we can try that one. I may just have to type it in, I guess. USF Institution Graduate Catalog. So let's try, let me make sure from the task that I'm doing it exactly correctly. Instructional technology. Whoops. I'm going to submit that and see if anything comes up. So there's still just a Doctor of Philosophy, an Education Specialist. Okay, so we have Secondary Education, Instructional Technology, Master of Education. So we know that it's secondary education. So what I'm going to do is, now that I know that that's there, I'm just going to go look by the college and see if I can find it that way. Otherwise, we know where we can find it now, but I just want to see. So I guess it would be under secondary education, which would be S's. Secondary education, and we are looking for instructional technology. So in my task, I was never told it was considered secondary education, so I just assumed that it was a regular degree, and I didn't need to look for secondary education because it's classified, and it's classified alphabetically by secondary, not by instructional technology. So unless you know for sure that it's secondary education, you're not going to be able to find it, unless you search it directly.
Well, great.
So now,
Yeah,
now I clicked on it, and it's 37 degree credits to get the Masters of Education in Instructional Technology.
terrific. Well, you've completed all the tasks. I appreciate very much your help, and I will go back and do my report.